Democrat-led New Orleans is again America's murder capital. After owning that awful distinction since last September, when New Orleans began having more killings than St. Louis, it's continuing to happen. Police stats for 2022, and they're still counting, reportedly. So far, they've gotten to this number, 277. That's a homicide rate of about 70 per 100,000 people. That's the most in the nation. The city also recording a rise in gun deaths, armed robberies, vehicle thefts. 2023 not shaping up to be any better, potentially worse. New Orleans has one homicide per day now. The coroner there yesterday identified 5 victims of gun violence killed in less than a week. The city entering Carnival, the season ahead of Mardi Gras. The mayor is begging anybody, everybody for help.
We are prepared to invite and pay for any post-certified law enforcement agency to support us. We are willing to pay so that our New Orleans Police Department, our public safety team, our unified command has every layer of support that we need, that you need, present throughout the streets of New Orleans to ensure that we have a safe Mardi Gras 2023.
Jason Rantz, Seattle radio host. So President Biden a few months ago bragged about the fact that all this money was going to fighting crime across the country. That was right before the midterm elections. Where's the cash?
Well, that wasn't an actual promise. I mean, right, this was all political. New Orleans right now, I think it has all the ingredients for, again, becoming that murder capital. Because to your point, you know, you've got a depleted police force. They've got under 1,000 cops. Now, in 2019, when they had the lowest number of homicides, they had about 1,300 cops. And I think there's clearly a connection there. You've got a left-wing DA in Jason Williams who claims that the criminal justice system is inherently racist by design, and that allows him to go easy on criminals depending on skin color because you want to make some sort of political point. And then, of course, you've got the Mayor Cantrell, who pushes for restorative justice on dangerous criminals, particularly youths who carjack. And I don't know why we've decided that that's the right group to go easy on, but she helped lead the defund movement. They cut police funding. They cut police funding by about $16 million, and now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, whoa, we don't have a police force. Yeah, that's what happens when you cut their budget. When you look at the exit interviews of the cops who have left, they've said time and time again that they don't feel appreciated, that they are getting hit with silly punishment for like low-level mistakes that they make, all of it driven by this movement that cops are inherently racist and evil and we have to do something about them. Well, now this is where we're at.
See, I always like to follow the money. So where's the $16 million that they defunded the police by? Like, I think we need to know that now, because apparently their ideas of replacing the officers who were not going to be there and then making money on the deal by cutting them $16 million did not work out. Accountability, where's the cash?
Yeah, that's a good question, because when you look at specifically this budget, just overall for the city of New Orleans, they ended up having to cut a bunch of cash from different departments outside of the police because they were just overspending. We don't know where the money is, and I think that goes directly to the mayor, who is just not very competent at running this city. And I don't know if you remember this, but back in, I think it was September, she comes out and she says, oh, I don't believe any of the data that shows that we have a bunch of murders here. That's just some government terminology. It's like, no, you clearly have a problem. And I think that her delusion has led to this point.
It's very sad and very dangerous now, because she's got to do in short order what could take you years to replace the types of police officers and their experience that you lost. You might get some people who come in temporarily, but you want to live in that city permanently, it's going to take some time to get that ship upright. Yep. The Biden administration's war on fossil fuels is coming for your kitchen, Jason. Do you like to cook with gas? Many people do. I do. Flavor of the food, if you can do it. It's reportedly considering a ban on gas stoves. The very stoves and cooktops found in about 40% of American homes, except for here in New York, where they've already made the edict, you can't have anything but an electric now. The Consumer Product Safety Commission now cites concerns over pollutants emitted by the appliances. Well, that's important. Nobody wants people to get sick. They say research links them to asthma, respiratory illnesses, other problems. An industry spokesperson says This is not news. Here's a quote. Banning one type of cooking appliance is not going to address the concerns about overall indoor air quality. People may just need to turn on their hoods when cooking. Open a window? Critics having a field day with this. One tweeted, when you lose power due to a blizzard or a hurricane, having a gas stove can save your life. But naturally, the government wants to ban it. The administration says they're not coming to your home. Any ban would be on new appliances. Well, okay, they're not going to come to your house, but they're going to prevent what you put in your house.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, all cooking emits pollutants. The only reason they want to ban gas stoves is because it's fueled by gas. This isn't about the health effects. They just tell people, to your point, like open a window, and then the impact is negligible. It's not just New York City. You've got D.C., you've got Washington State. They're banning gas heating in new construction. The movement here is to go all electric, and they're going to force it on us eventually. They can say that they're not going after the current gas stovetops, but when you move forward in a world in which you are forcing this in new constructions, well, at some point, the people who know how to fix gas stoves start to go away, start to dwindle. All of a sudden, people then are going to electric, which costs more in electricity bills for a lot of the people who are most vulnerable.
You think it costs more now. 80% of putting those grids across the country is fossil fueled.
Yep.
80% coal, fossil fueled. What will you do? California couldn't even have you this summer during a heat wave plug in your electric car. What will you do when the 40% of people using gas now come on to all those grids across the country? All those electrical grids. Not just expensive, but you may not have enough for everybody to drink from, to plug everything in. We've already seen it. Jason Rantz, thank you very much. Always great to have you in focus.
Thanks, Harris.